Hello and welcome back. Today I am going to be discussing my monthly TBR for January. So before we get started on what I'm going to be reading for the month of January, I just want to tell you about a couple of goals that I have for this year and how that will be kind of affecting my choices and how I'm going to be picking books and things like that. So my first goal is that I only want to be buying 50 books this year. I'm capping myself at 50. I have made way too many financially irresponsible decisions last year on how many books I bought, and I think 50 is a really good spot for me. That may be, a lot more than you may buy in a year. It may be a lot less than you buy in a year, but for me, I feel like that is a really good and safe number of books to buy this year. So capping myself off at 50, and we're gonna see how that goes. So my next goal is that I want to read at least one nonfiction book a month. I have a few that I have put on the back burner that I really want to get to. And so if I make this little thing where I need to read at least one nonfiction, I'm hoping that will at least bump them up in order for me to read them. My next goal is that I want to keep my average rating at about a 3.5 for this year. I'm usually pretty good at keeping it around there. I think I had like a 3.4. I do use Goodreads, so it doesn't take into account half stars. So I think it was a 3.3, but I want to try and, either keep it at a 3.5 or raise it up to like a 3.7. Like that would be so great. I want to make sure that I am not forcing myself to read a book that I'm not enjoying. I definitely want to be DNFing more this year instead of just trudging along and putting myself into a book slump. I think that is pretty attainable for me. The next goal that I had written down in my book journal is start a booktube channel, which can check that one right off. I have already done an intro video and I'm going to start doing monthly TBRs, wrap-ups, maybe a couple of vlog challenges. Kind of don't know where I want to go with this, but I thought it would just be like a fun little adventure for 2024. So we'll see. My next goal is that I want to read at least a third of my physical TBR. I own about 428 books, give or take a few. I have read 162 of those. Reading a third of my TBR, I've calculated it out. It's about 80 books that I need to read to get to a third of my TBR read. I think 80 books is high, but not as high as I was expecting from all of the unread books that I see surrounding me. That doesn't take into account any of the books that I might be buying this year, but it'll be a fun little challenge for me to try and read all those. So next one, I want to finish more series than I start this year. I am a notorious series starter, and then I'll read one or two books and then I will put it down and I'll forget about it. And then I won't want to pick up the next book because I'm like, I have to reread the other two that I just read. Well, I definitely want to start to finish more of the series that I have going right now. So that will definitely be a challenge for me to actually stick with the series and actually see it all the way through. So that will be definitely one of the goals that I really, really want to achieve for this year. And so those were a couple of different goals that I have just for this year that are going to affect either my monthly TBRs or any of the new books that I might be getting. So let's jump into the books that I'm going to be reading for this month. So for my nonfiction pick for this month, I have chosen Dolls of Our Lives by Mary Mahoney and Allison Horrocks. So this is kind of like a pop culture moment on why we're so obsessed with American Girl dolls and how it's kind of shaped us. I saw this cover and I just had to pick it up. So I will be reading this for my nonfiction pick this month. So for my next pick, I wanted to have a series continuation book. So the next book or the final book in a series to try and knock out some of my ongoing series that I have. So the series book that I chose to do was Symphony for a Deadly Throne. This is by E.J. Mello. I absolutely love this series. Each book follows a different sister that each has a magical power, and I just absolutely love this. So I just never got to the last book. I think I just didn't want it to end. So I will be doing this for my series continuation book. One thing I have struggled with in the past is BookBox subscriptions and actually reading the books that I get with my subscription. So I've had Bookish Box in the past. I currently have Fairy Loot, the adult version, and I don't read them, and I want to, I really do. It's just something holds me back and I just can't read them. So I have decided for each month I'm going to pick out for my handy dandy little jar with my little tuxedo cat on it. I'm going to pick out a book box title and we will see what I will be reading for that. Going through it. Okay, this feels like a good one. Okay, so I will be reading The Midnight Girls. Let me go pull that off the shelf. Okay, so my BookBox subscription service pick for this month is The Midnight Girls by Alicia Jasinska. And I don't think I've actually read what this one is about, so let me go ahead and see. So in the snow-cloaked kingdom of Lecheha, now is a time for mischief and revelry. It's Carnival season, and for the next few weeks, all will be consumed with wintry balls, glittery disguises, and cavalcades of nightly torchlit sleigh parties. Unbeknownst to the merrymakers, two uninvited monsters disguised as girls join the fun. Zosia and Marinka are drawn to each other the moment they meet until they discover their rivals who both have their sights set on the prince's heart. If one consumes a pure heart, she'll gain immeasurable power. Marinka plans to bring the prince's heart back to her patron in order to prove herself, while Zosia is determined to take his heart and its power for herself. Their ambition turns into a magical contest with both girls vying to keep the prince out of the other's grasp, even as their attraction to each other grows. But their attempts on his life draw the attention of the city that would die for him, and suddenly their escalating rivalry might cost them not just their love for each other, but both their lives. So this one is actually perfect because it just snowed outside for like the first time all winter. And so this will definitely be bringing back some of those wintry vibes that I missed for Christmas. And also this is just a gorgeous edition. Like, look at that beautiful iridescence and the artwork cover on the back. If you can see it, so pretty. So definitely excited to be starting that one. So for my next pick, I wanted to start working on my Goodreads backlist. I have added way too many books on my Goodreads and I hate how the numbers keep growing and they don't decrease. So I decided to start reading all the way back to the first book that I added on there that I haven't read, and kind of just work my way backwards. So pull over my handy dandy computer here. So the oldest book on my Goodreads TBR was all the way back from December of 2014. And that one is Daughter of the Forest by Juliette Marillier. So this one has definitely been on there for quite a bit. So let me just go ahead and read the synopsis for y'all. Lovely Shorsha is the seventh child and only daughter of Lord Cullum of Seven Waters. Bereft of a mother, she is comforted by her 6 brothers who love and protect her. Sorsha is the light in their lives. They are determined that she know only contentment. But Shorsha's joy is shattered when her father is bewitched by his new wife, an evil enchantress, who binds her brothers with a terrible spell, a spell which only Sorsha can lift by staying silent. If she speaks before she completes the quest set to her by the fair folk and their queen, the Lady of the Forest, she will lose her brothers forever. When Sorsha is kidnapped by the enemies of Seven Waters and taken to a foreign land, she is torn between the desire to save her beloved brothers and a love that comes only once. Sorsha despairs at ever being able to complete her task, but the magic of the fair folk knows no boundaries, and love is the strongest magic of them all. I'm really excited to start reading this one. Again, it's been on my TBR for a really long time. It's never been taken off, so can't say that about a ton of the books that I've added and then will delete after many months that I'm just not interested anymore. But I'm definitely excited for this older fantasy. I think it's from 1999, so I'm excited for that one. For my fifth book, I wanted to start working on my 2024 picks. So any book that I bought this year, I wanted to like immediately read so that it doesn't start collecting dust on my shelves. The first one that I wanted to read that's a 2024 release is All Roads Lead Here. This is a republished or traditionally published now Mariana Zapata book that's coming out January 30th, I believe. So I need to get on this before it's released. I was able to get this book from my work. We get a lot of ARCs, so I was able to snag this one up. So I will be reading this for my 2024 pick, and I am so excited. I've already started reading it. I think I'm like 200 pages in, which for a Mariana Zapata book is barely a dent. So this will be book number 5. So for my next 2 picks, I am in a couple of book clubs. So these are those picks. So the first one is Do Your Worst by Rosie Danan. This is my 3rd book by Rosie Danan that I've read. I've read The Roommate and The Intimacy Experiment, which I absolutely loved. You wouldn't expect, based on her covers, how hot they will be, but they were so good. I really loved the character development in them, and I am excited to be reading Do Your Worst, which follows a cult expert and a archaeologist in a haunted Scottish castle. So that is the book club book that I will be reading for I'm a part of a romance book club. So that will be that pick. So for my second book club that I'm a part of, we will be reading The Hurricane Wars by Tia Guanzan. So this is a really fun fantasy novel that I've heard really good things about. And I'm really excited to start this one. And I just love the back. It says, the Night Empire casts a long shadow over the land. Nothing can stand in the way of its might and power. Year by year, the hurricane wars take and take, and yet there is hope in the darkness. One lone light stands against the empire. So I'm very excited to start reading this, and this edition from Fairy Loot is just gorgeous. So very excited for that one. Okay, so here is my monthly TBR. Got some pretty thick ones on here, but nothing too crazy. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.